guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of primary goods bedding. So in this video, I'm going to give you the general rundown of what primary goods is all about. I'm going to talk about the pros as well as the cons. And finally, I'm going to give you my recommendation if I think primary goods bedding is worth purchasing, and if it is, who I really think it would be a good fit for. So if that's what you're here to learn about, then just keep watching. First, let's give you a general rundown of what primary goods is all about. So basically, they are a bedding company. They have two different types of sheets. They have linen and percale. I don't know how you say it, but they have two different types. And basically what sets their sheets apart is they have a snapping system, basically. So the top sheet will actually attach via snaps to the duvet cover. It's supposed to be easier to make your bed, basically because the top sheet does not get lost in the bottom by your feet, and it stays connected to the top sheet. So that is basically the gist of it. So now let's get into the pros and cons. So the number one pro is I do think they actually work for their intended purpose of making it easier to make your bed. I do think that's super handy to have that attachment, and it really does save you time. At least I have found that it saves me time. So that is the first pro. The second pro is I do really like how they look. I love the look of the linen. I feel like it looks just very clean and high end. And obviously this is not the only place that you can buy linen sheets, but I do love just kind of the classic simplicity of how they look. Now, the third pro is I really do love how the linen feels. I love that the linen feels soft, but there's still some texture to it. And personally, I really like that. Now, I don't think linen sheets necessarily are for everyone. They're not as like silky smooth as some other sheets out there. They're not as like fuzzy or soft. So I can't say that they are the best for everyone, but personally, I have really found that I like the feel of the linen sheets, which I wasn't totally sure I would like before I purchased them. That's the third pro. Now, the fourth pro is they do have a 100-night sleep trial, so you can test out the sheets, see if you like them, and return them after 3 months, basically, if you don't like them. So it is nice that they have those because these sheets are a pretty big investment. So yeah, those are the 4 pros that I think you should know about primary goods bedding. Now, unfortunately, there are some negatives, so let's get into those. The first negative is there are a decent amount of kind of fine print things to watch out for when it comes to the 100-night sleep trial. So for example, number one, if you got any type of discount on the items, then they will only refund you store credit instead of actually refunding your money to your form of payment, which I think is kind of scammy of them because they're kind of one of those companies that always have their products discounted. At least every time I have looked on the website, it's always like, oh, $100 off, or it's just like their price, their sale price basically is their price kind of thing. Also, another thing of fine print on the sleep trial is they do require a $19.99 fee to return the sheets if you've used them. And obviously, kind of the whole point of the sleep trial is that you get to use them first. So that's a little shady. I mean, I get it, like it is what it is, but just keep that in mind if you're not 100% sure if you're going to keep them or not, because you may be stuck with them after reading the fine print. Now, the second con is I have run into quality issues with these sheets. So I've run into 2 problems with the snaps on the sheets. The first is that I've had some instances where the snaps are just completely missing, or they fell off like in transit, which is just terrible quality issue from my perspective. And then the second problem I've run into is I've had one instance where the snaps were actually like the wrong type. So they were both of the same type of snap. They were not opposite types. So they were not able to actually snap together, and it was basically completely useless snaps. And you may say, oh, that's just an isolated incident, but I actually bought 2 different sets of these sheets. So the first order was basically an accident. I accidentally bought the wrong size. I bought a full size sheet set for my queen size bed. I did end up keeping them just because I could squeeze them onto my bed. They were just a little bit snug, but I didn't want to deal with returning them, so I kept them, and I actually bought a second set in a queen. And long story short, both sets of sheets in 2 separate deliveries had the exact same issue. They both had the snaps missing. Contacted customer service about this. They did actually tell me that they were planning on making some changes to their quality system or making some changes to the sheets themselves that would hopefully fix this problem. They did say that they would send me a replacement sheet set. Now, I don't think they have sent me those quite yet, but I did like that customer service was very responsive about this issue. At least they're kind of doing their parts related to this. But to be honest, I think the fact that there are these kind of blatant quality issues from the get-go is a pretty big negative, and that is number 2. Now, the third thing I want to talk about on the negatives is just keep in mind that these sheets and the snap system is not foolproof, where the top sheet is like sewn to the duvet cover and they will never come off. I have had instances where a few snaps will come undone just in the process of sleeping at night. Personally, it doesn't really bother me, and I think the benefit of that is it does make it easy to kind of pull back the duvet cover if it's a really hot night or something like that, while still keeping the sheets without like messing with a ton of different stuff. But just keep in mind, it's not completely a foolproof system. And then finally, con number 4 is the price. These are probably the most expensive sheets that I have ever purchased. Depending on what size you buy, they're between like $350 to $400 for the complete sheet set. For the like discounted price, like I said, this is pretty much the only price I've seen. The real price is like $450, but just keep that in mind. They are quite expensive nonetheless. Okay, so now that we have the pros and cons out of the way, let's talk about my recommendation of if I think these sheets are worth buying. And honestly, I think for most people, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you run out and buy these sheets. I think given the price and the quality issues I've seen, I think you can probably get more bang for your buck elsewhere. However, I think if you do just want to spend the extra money and you do want to get a premium set of sheets that, you know, will potentially save you a minute or 2 in the morning making your bed, personally, I think they're worth it if spending the money is worth it to you for the convenience. Personally, I am glad that I purchased them. I do really enjoy them, and I think I will keep them for a long time, but I'm honestly really hesitant to recommend them to you guys just because I think for the price, they should have ironed out some of those quality issues by now. Now, if I can find any type of referral code, affiliate program, discount code, anything like that that will potentially save you guys some money, I will definitely put the details of that in the description box. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.